Hey everybody, today's video is going to be about how to get your fog lights to turn on automatically when you want them to. The stock setup obviously is that they only turn on when you push the button. It is important to note that when you do that, the parking lights will also come on and the fog lights will always turn off when the brights are on. From what I have been reading, some people want their fog lights to come on automatically at night, others want them to come on or stay on with high beams, and a few people always want them on with their running lights. Your body control module determines what turns on based on the inputs it receives. Reprogramming it is expensive, and for some things, you would have to ship it somewhere, which would disable your entire truck while it's gone. Knowing that, it's a lot easier and cheaper to just create jumps in the wiring that come out of the body control module. If you can figure out what you want to turn on when something else turns on, you can basically solve your reprogramming needs through wiring. I personally have always liked the look of fog lights on at night. You get an aggressive look that really shows off the front end of these trucks. I want that look without always pressing the fog light button. I also found out that our fog lights turn off when the high beams are on. I'm not sure why that's a factory setting, but I like them to stay on with the brights as well. The body control module and wiring you're going to create jumps in is located on the driver's side of your truck above where your left foot is while driving. As you can see, there are a mess of wires to choose from. You can find information on your entire electrical system in the 2019 Plus Silverado 1500 Electrical Body Builder Manual. I'll put a link to the nearly 1200 page manual in the description, but the info you will need for this project starts on page 678. When you are deciding on what wires to jump between, you will need to consider that your jump will be a two-way street. That means whenever the body control module gives one thing power, it will give the other power as well. So if you decide to jump fog lights to your high beams, so your fog lights will stay on with your brights, you would also be wiring your truck to turn on your high beams every time you pressed your fog light button, which would be counterproductive to say the least. I also looked into jumping fog lights to daytime running lights, but knowing that the running lights turn off when your turn signals are on kind of killed that idea for me. If you want to buy a kit that comes with the perfect size T-taps and solves the problem with current traveling in both directions, then I suggest you purchase the kit made by Boost Autoparts. I've linked it in the description. Not only do they provide T-taps you will need to quickly and easily create your own jumps, but they also designed their module with a built-in diode that allows current to flow in only one direction. Boost Autoparts made a great tutorial for both the nighttime running fog lights and the high beam fog lights. If you plan on using one of their kits, I strongly suggest you watch their tutorials as well. I'll add those links in my description. My test with a multimeter shows how their module works. Note the lack of current flow in one direction and only a half voltage drop when I flip everything around. The half voltage drop is normal for diodes. If you want to buy a kit that makes your fog lights come on automatically at night or just stay on with your high beams, this is a great solution. The kit includes everything you'll need and the price is very reasonable compared to the full harness replacements I've seen out there. Because I want my fog lights to come on automatically at night and stay on with the high beams, I'll be creating a jump between the fog lights and the parking lights. Parking lights automatically come on at night and stay on with the high beams, so it makes sense to create a jump from those. I considered making a jump from the low beam headlights, but after going through some of that electrical bodybuilder manual, I decided against it due to how different their wiring was compared to the fog lights. Alright, enough playing around with their module. Let's get it installed. The only tools you're going to need are a needle nose pliers and something to cut away a little bit of tape with. Once you are looking up from your driver's side floor mat, you will see there are 7 of these connectors, but we will only need the brown connector for this mod. Press the tab while pulling down and it should come out fairly easily. Pin 10 and 22 are the two you are going to want to tap into. You can see their locations on this image, but the wire colors should be brown with a white stripe and a solid blue. There really isn't much room for the T-taps, so you will likely need to cut back on the tape a little bit. The tape feels like hockey tape, so you could try wrapping it back with that if you want. These T-taps in the kit are simple and effective for this mod. All you have to do is make sure the correct wire is resting neatly between the metal tabs near the latch, and then close the T-tap until the tab snaps closed. Once you have both T-taps on the correct wires, install the module by connecting it to both T-taps. As I explained earlier, This module will only allow current to flow in one direction, so make sure the blue end is attached to the brown wire with a white stripe in pin 10. Make sure both ends are pressed in all the way, and then push the brown connector back into place until you hear a click. As you can see, the fog lights now operate exactly how I want them to. They come on whenever the headlights do, and they stay on when the high beams come on. The only drawback I can think of is now they will always come on with the parking lights and when I remotely start the vehicle at night. That's getting pretty nitpicky when everything else works the way I want it to. The last thing I wanted to show you guys was how the indicator lights work on the dash. Note that this mod will turn on your fog lights when your parking lights or headlights are on, but they will not turn on the fog light indicator in your instrument cluster. That only comes on when you manually push the button. I think this is a good thing and will be less of a distraction when you're driving. You should also know that your fog light button still functions normally. We only added capability through jumping wires. We didn't disconnect anything. Well, that's it for this review and tutorial. I really appreciate all the feedback I've been getting on these videos, and the support through following really does help the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.